Auralis podcast has returned once again. I am your host, Antonio. Back for more, I see. And that is completely fine. More knowledge. The quest for knowledge must be never ending. You must never, ever stop learning. You can learn up until the day you die. Refusing to learn and refusing to understand and refusing to see other perspectives is probably the highest form of unintelligence I can think of. And it's also the most common. If you're going to take anything from this transmission, keep learning. Now, I am not the villain. I am just more honest than you. And if you got offended by that, then you are exactly who this podcast episode is meant for. Be honest with yourself. Okay? Just be honest with yourself. It's gonna do you so much more good than you think. Everybody thinks they're good and right, while being just as angry, hateful, and petty as the people they call evil. Isn't that a little sick and twisted? Call me crazy, dark, wrong. I might be the most whole and peaceful person in my household, on my block, in my neighborhood, in my state. Might. Keyword. The cartoon lie of good versus evil is kind of taking over this modern world. We're so infatuated with movies, TV shows, and simple narratives that are easily followed because our attention span is so fucking horrible. So we just want the same story regurgitated over and over. We don't want to add depth to our stories. We just want to see, I'm the good guy, you're the bad guy. Bullshit. The world loves the good versus bad. They love light workers versus toxic. Us versus them. People cling to this, I'm good, I'm so pure, I'm good, I'm right. But you're just as hateful, angry, and judgmental as the person next to you. And you won't admit it. You refuse to admit it. They won't admit this. So what do? Project it outward. Projection. This is the most amount of projection I've seen out of every era of human existence. Because we've gotten to a point where we're so comfortable with projecting because you're sitting behind a screen. You're sitting in your garage. You're sitting in your house. Just yapping and projecting. The whole point of that little tangent was that most people aren't less hateful than me. They're just less honest about their own hate. I am not saying I have no hate in my body. I hate just as fully as you, but I don't project it. Last episode, I touched on the whole idea of suffering versus sensitivity and how the lines between them have been kind of blurred immensely. People confuse the two, they swap the two, and that can lead to some very, very, very large issues. Sorry. Dr. Pepper Brick. Best soda ever made. I mentioned last episode that I felt like I was always going to snap the moment I got in the car, the moment I stepped anywhere outside of my comfort zone, because why? Your brain loves your comfort zone. It does not want to leave the comfort zone. So when you try, it's going to fight you every step of the way. Me snapping and me being outside my comfort zone is now being read as mentally ill, psychotic, instead of overloaded and spiritually cracked open. Suffering is when I was drowning and nobody came to help me. And sensitivity was when I was feeling what the world refuses to feel themselves. So what right do they have to judge me? What right? None. Anyway, I'm mostly talking about the Western system. Eastern system is it's so much different and it's so much better. I'm not saying that means one is better overall. because I know you're going to try to put that narrative onto me because you can't find anything else. All I'm saying is in spiritual and emotional aspects, the Eastern world is a lot better with dealing with people like me. And I'm not the only one. I am not that unique or special. There are so many millions of people like me out there that are just pushed to the bottom of the barrel because they don't fit in a productive world, in a passionless world. This is a numb world I see. Emotionless, boring, NPC, trend following, sheep. Where have you been called crazy for simply feeling too much? What if that wasn't an illness but just a badly translated gift you didn't learn yet? I hate. I don't say hate often because, one, hate is a strong word. And I've received so much hate that I know what it feels like and I need it. It keeps me going. It gets me up in the morning. Hate tells me that I'm doing something right. Hate tells me that I'm going against the tide in a good way, that I'm trying to make change. I'm trying to change the world. I am not trying to fit into this world because I hate this world. So if I hate this world, I must change it. I can't just sit and wallow and complain like you. So I got diagnosed with a certain illness that doesn't even exist outside of this country. That kind of put all these events that meant everything to me and put it into a diagnosis box. So internally, they tell me I'm chaos, right? But instead, I am connection, I am unity, and I am the slow burn of clarity. So people tell me I was disordered, but inside I knew I was a healer. I am the one feeling what others numb out. So not every storm is a symptom. Some storms are awakening. I'm trying to hammer this philosophy episode after episode until you get it, because I care about you, because I'm passionate about your life path and your life choices. And I can see you all going the wrong way. You're going forward when you really need to be going backwards. You can't truly go forward unless you take a step back. The system fears what it can't measure, so it says it isn't real. Not human nature at all. If you don't understand something, you don't dismiss it as not real. Are we living 2,000 years ago or something? You have the facilities to think it out. You don't just immediately dismiss it. Out of every other topic in the universe, do you dismiss something as quickly as this? I don't think so. Seeing is believing. Am I right? So this is not good versus evil. This is just evolution. We are evolving. You believe in evolution so much, so why can't you accept it when it's happening right in front of your eyes? Instead of just being a preacher, because this is not preaching, I am just simply passionate and I feel like I need to get this out into the world. So I'm going to tell it in the form of a parable. Now, there was an old driver, his name will be Luca, and he drifted, he drowned. He couldn't carry this unbearable weight anymore, the unbearable weight of the pain and sadness and despair of the world that he couldn't stop feeling, and he did not know why. Short for Antonio sat in the back seat of his car, behind the driver's seat, just watching him slowly go mad. This needed to happen, because when he finally broke, Antonio took the wheel. So it's not hero versus villain. It's not he was evil, I'm good. It's not even he was good, I'm evil. Because I know you're going to try and twist it that way. He was exhausted, and I am the response. I am the solution. I am sharper. I am more disciplined, and I am less willing to drift away. Some people may see this as possession, but possession is not even real. Possession as a word didn't even exist until recently, so get that out of your head. It's consent-based influence, okay? He agreed to step aside. I stepped in. That's not delusion. That is not delusion to me. That's how it felt on the inside. So if you're going to try and discredit how I tell you I feel on the inside, I don't want to hear you speak another word ever again. I'm not saying everybody has a story or everybody has the facilities for this story to happen in their own lives. I'm just saying that this is the language that made my own inner war make sense. You love metaphors so much, you love riddles so much, there you go. Is it a crazy statement to say that everyone is just as evil as me? I don't think so. I don't think so. People who think they're good, while they're gossiping, hating quietly. You know gossiping is one of the worst sins you could commit, right? Judging, pitting groups against each other for their own self-advantage. You, or me, and should be you too, we need to own our capacity for hate and anger. You don't just shove it down and say you don't have it, because then you're not human anymore, are you? And you have to refuse to pretend that you're above this anger that's a common and needed human emotion. It's the fire that moves us all when you use it the right way. And you're using it in all the wrong ways, I promise you. You need to acknowledge your darkness. You need to take responsibility for your darkness. Don't weaponize it and call it righteousness, because you are not righteous at all. You aren't better because you feel your hatred. You're just more numb than me. Now, last episode I already said that this fake peace comes in many forms. Scrolling, fantasy, spiritual bypassing, substances, and the aesthetic spirituality. All of these give an emptiness that is forever a bottomless pit, okay? It's forever a bottomless pit. Somebody got their fuck-ass dog outside, so if you hear that, I'm sorry. All these fake peace attempts are just attempts to shut your own sensitivity down. You're refusing to be sensitive. What the fuck is that, huh? And now, since you refuse to be sensitive, all your gifts that come with it is buried with your own pain, and now you're numb and a boring sack of shit. So I tried to escape this, okay? And I did escape this. I escaped the social mask. I escaped this fake spiritual persona, and I escaped substances and other compulsions. Because you know why? Because I realized it was leading me to the same place: despair, despair, despair. So real peace doesn't come from escape. It came from actually listening to what my suffering was trying to tell me. What my suffering was trying to tell me. So now I have a new story to tell. Not good versus evil, but whole versus fragmented. I am not offering you just another good versus evil cartoon, because that's all it is, a cartoon and a false fabrication narrative. We're not here to choose team good or team evil. We're here to stop lying about what we're capable of. We need to stop pathologizing every single sensitivity. And, most importantly, to tune our full selves, light and shadow, into something coherent, something whole. And that's another main reason why I'm writing Auralis. Because Auralis is not a religion for the millionth time. It is not a brand. All it is my way of saying, I am not broken. I'm just out of tune. And you're not evil. You're just unintegrated. I wasn't evil. I was just unintegrated. So don't think that just because I become integrated, you can still call me evil. That's not how this fucking works. Live in the present and get out of your head. Get out of your head. So I'm going to try to do a call to action more often, because I feel like it's a call to action to me too. So we're just going to call it a call to action for anyone listening, including me, because I'm going to have to sit and edit this after. Oh my god. This is a simple, concrete practice tied to the theme of sitting with your quote-unquote evil self. I'm sorry, but good versus evil doesn't even exist. We just are. You are what you are. You are the emotions and sensitivity that you are. Good versus evil was made up for storytelling. Newsflash. So, sit alone, no phone, no distractions. And I want you to think about the versions of you because yes, I'm not the only one with versions of myself. Think about the versions of you that you're ashamed of. The angry you, the jealous you, the petty you. Pettiness is a big one. This pettiness is getting out of control, right? And the version of you that people have called crazy or bad or evil in the past, because I'm not the only one who's going through this. So when you identify these personas, when you identify these versions of you, don't try to fix it, don't try to erase it, don't push it down, don't judge it, and don't justify it. All you need to ask is, what was I trying to protect by acting this way? What was I afraid of by acting this way? This is not to excuse harm, okay? The goal is to see that there was never a pure villain inside you, only wounded and hurt parts trying to survive, calling out for help, and nobody comes to help. So you have to help yourself and stop being petty, stop being angry, stop being jealous, only when it is right. And the more discernment you have, then you will know when the right time is for you. So if you can see the difference between your suffering and sensitivity, you can stop calling your gifts and other people's gifts a disease or a mental illness. You will finally wake up. So to close, you're not broken. You're just out of tune. You're not good or evil. You're whole. And that wholeness is uncomfortable for a world that loves simple labels and easily digestible labels. You're not a mistake. You're not a villain. You're a frequency the world hasn't learned to hear yet. Stay luminous. Stay listening. We're going beyond good and evil now. Goodbye from Auralis and Allah.